Hello, hello. Oh, one sec. Wire's in an awkward spot. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is. Give me a second here. I was using my webcam to film something for something else you guys will see soon enough on the weekend, and I didn't put the wire back properly. We had 3 viewers so far. Hello, 3 viewers. Say hi, introduce yourself. Tonight we're drawing the Great Mouse Detective, also sometimes referred to as Detective Mouse, also known as Basil of Baker Street. Hey, Mark. And I'm going to include Rattigan because Rattigan, in my opinion, best Disney villain of all time. I like Great Mouse Detective a lot. It's not my favorite Disney movie, but Rattigan is definitely my favorite villain. My mic is on my webcam? What do you mean? Oh shit, you're right. One sec. Or no, actually, it's not the webcam, it's something else. But one sec, I know what it is. There we go. That was, again, if you heard me commenting that I was using the webcam to film stuff, I was using a different mic to record while I was doing that. I have a snowball, which honestly would probably be a lot more convenient to use for the sound on the streams as well. I don't have a good place to set it up unless I get a proper stand for it. I don't know, the headset works okay. Hey, Parker. So this request came from Mars. We've got 2 Marses that come into the stream sometime. This is the one that goes by Marzi on Twitch. She's a Foundation VFS grad from a while back. Other Mars is still in Foundation. Yes, Parker. One sec. I feel like I know what I did. Or no, that's not right. I forgot that I had moved this, or I would have figured this out before stream. I feel like it's crooked compared to normal, but whatever. I guess it's all in there. So whatever. If it works, it works. Why is it? Whatever. All right, let's do it. Oh, fuck. Okay, one sec. I figured out a trick to make the music not pause so often, but I fucked it up by closing the tab. Okay, there we go. It's okay, Parker. Alright. So here we go. So, do we have any Great Mouse Detective fans? I understand. It's a fun movie. For sure. Yes, it is. As far as I'm aware, anyway, it is for sure. And an underrated one, in my opinion, also, by the way. Something I always liked about the Musker Clemens movies is I feel like compared to a lot of the other Disney ones, they're really cartoony. And something like Great Mouse Detective, I feel like would be probably pretty cartoony no matter who directed it, just because it's talking to mice and stuff. But like, there's a certain cartooniness to Aladdin and um, Little Mermaid that I don't think is necessarily there in, say, like Beauty and the Beast or something. Like, obviously, they're cartooning in their own right, but not quite on the same level. A lot more squash and stretch, a lot more exaggerated features. I had kind of an allergy cough since last week. I gotta keep assuring people it's nothing sinister. Pretty normal for me this time of year. Yeah. And Rattigan's a great example. Like, that's one of the reasons I love Rattigan so much. It's half Vincent Price's vocal performance and half Amar's. One second. Just want to check something here really quick. So, other Mars, by the way, Marzi, is the one that suggested Great Mouse Detective. Hopefully she'll pop in as well. But it looks like Marzipan is also a fan. Am I right, Mars? I think that, like, Jafar, just for all the general purposes of a villain, is very much up there. But I put Rattigan inches out my as my favorite, mainly because of the voice and the animation. Like, I don't think he's as effective as a scary villain compared to like Jafar or something. But just as far as a fun character to watch. I think you mentioned your love of Sherlock Holmes before, Mars, actually. Have you read the books? I read the first half of the books, I think. And I consider myself a fan. I got really into it, started reading them, and I got sidetracked from it. I never really got back to it. But by the way, the keyword for today's playlist is mystery, which seems to give us weird ones. Okay. I wanted to do, I tried British as my keyword, didn't work. Tried English, also didn't work. So I landed on mystery. Cool. I was reading them in order, and I don't think I think I only got to read one or two of the novels, and because there's like a big chunk that are just the short story compilations. I have something slightly different planned for the inking of these characters, but the initial designs I'm not going to mess with too much. You might see some slightly sharper edges and stuff like I tend to do, but for the most part, they're going to be pretty much what you know probably. I think in my case, as far as comparing short stories to the novels, is it really just depends on my mood while I'm reading them. The other cool thing with Rattigan is how feral he turns by the climax. And you kind of like, you get hints of it throughout the movie, but you don't fully get the entire breadth of how crazy he is till that finale. I get it. Yeah. Movie actually gets pretty dark, as the best Disney movies do, if we're being honest. Yep. All the makings of the perfect villain. Rattigan. Actually, let's not have him actually looking. Let's have him looking smug like he didn't quite know Rattigan's behind him. back, but not up. Okay. Let's hear it, Mars. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, he was like the most famous Sherlock. I can't remember though, did they actually cast him in it, or did they just reuse audio from one of his movies? You know, something I always thought, I always would notice this kind of stuff as a kid, and I never really got it. Basil's outfit in the movie is brown, which is what makes sense for the character, because Sherlock's outfit was always brown. But all the VHS cover and stuff, his outfit was always green. And I'm assuming now, looking back at it as an adult and someone with some animation experience and stuff, is they determined that the green was going to be more eye-catching on a poster and on the VHS, and they wanted kids to spot it and stuff. But I always thought that was weird. As a kid, it bugged me. I mentioned on Discord earlier that I don't know this is going to take that long. The initial line work of this is definitely going to be a quick one. But where I'm not sure about is the inking. Because I'm planning on doing a fairly intense ink job that's going to look kind of like the original Sherlock illustrations. But the characters might be simple enough that that still goes relatively quick. I don't know. And honestly, I'm kind of hoping it does, because I didn't sleep well last night at all. Okay. See, I kind of thought I remembered that, but I wasn't sure. Big, giant magnifying glass. Or giant by most standards, anyway. There's Basil. All done up. So if I want, no, let's not do the hat. I don't know if this hairstyle has a name. I assume I must have a name. I guess all hairstyles have a name, right? Rattigan's design is so cool too, like how it kind of makes it look like he's got stubble and stuff, and just like. Very true, and I agree, Parker, but I don't know if you're head somewhere with that. Okay. He's a lot more flawed than a lot of the Disney heroes, which is cool. Yeah. Which is what I'm referring to when I say more flawed. If that wasn't obvious. I understand, Parker. You can toss it in the Discord later if you want. Oh, by the way, I saw Shang-Chi, which now having seen the movie, I know is actually pronounced Shang-Chi. Really liked it. Thought it was super fun. I could nitpick some of the stuff in the climax a little bit, but the rest of the movie, very solid, very enjoyable. Would recommend. Something that is very satisfying sometimes about these streams is I actually do have memories of drawing Basil Baker Street when I was a kid. And I don't remember how those drawings turned out, but I gotta assume they weren't great because I would have been very young. And it's kind of neat to revisit some of these ones that I maybe would have drawn with a much more limited degree of success at one age. revisit what I know now. Yeah. Oh wait, I bet you're being sarcastic there. You must have known that came out. All right, let's start inking. Don't worry, Mars, I will not spoil. Except this. No, just joking, I won't do that. I promise. Fair enough. I actually have been having a hard time keeping track of them recently as well. I think I got, even though I was missing the movies coming to theaters, it had been so long that I was kind of losing track of what was coming out, and also not necessarily trusting things when I did know they were coming out, because I didn't know if they were still going to come out. So I took release dates with a grain of salt. No worries. It is fairly different, Mars. On the whole, I would say. Like I said, I have some nitpicks about the climax, and some of that maybe would be a bit more what you would expect from some of them. But I didn't dislike the climax either, though. Just if I was going to nitpick, that's where it would come from. But I would say on a whole, it does have a different feel. I'll tell you guys what I did today. I finally took my road test and got rid of my N. I've been driving with an N for probably at least 10 years now. But no more. Which is also why I'm so tired, because I woke up. I didn't need to get up until about 7:30. But I woke up at like at least 5:30, maybe earlier. And couldn't fall back to sleep. Mainly, I think it's just like as soon as I was conscious, I was thinking about this test I had to do in a couple hours. Yeah, I couldn't fall back to sleep. So I've been up for quite a long time now. Thank you. I put off getting my N for quite a while as well, but not nearly as bad as the thing with the N is like the restrictions on it aren't really that bad, so it's not a lot of incentive to kind of go through the testing process and everything. Like everyone needs to do it eventually, but it's like hey, Ash. I heartily agree, Ash. Heartily agree. Were you happy to hear, Ash, that we're going to do classical on campus this week? Great Mouse Detective? Yeah, all hand drawn. I also agree, Parker. I drive just often enough to make it worth having a car, and just little enough to make it particularly frustrating to keep it insured and stuff. Yes. I was saying earlier, Ash, Rattigan, my favorite Disney villain. Yes. So I always do a lot of hatching on my stuff. I don't always do a lot of cross hatching though. where you actually go over the lines again. But I'm gonna do extra on this one to kind of match the original Sidney Paget Sherlock illustrations a little bit. I'm gonna do it a lot more on Rattigan though, because his color scheme is so much darker. I'm not gonna go too crazy on Basil himself, but that's what makes the timing of this one a bit more unpredictable. By the way, Parker, you were mentioned Jafar earlier. I always thought Jafar's the voice and his appearance actually also makes me think of Vincent Price quite a bit. I think Vincent might have already been dead by the time Aladdin came out, but I could see him playing Jafar. Especially when he says to, "I love the way your twisted little mind works," or whatever, to Iago. It's very Vincent Pricey kind of delivery. Yeah. Is that what the hat's called? Yeah, and it inspired pretty much all other visual interpretations of him ever since then. Musker and Clemens also do Rescuers Down Under? I agree, Abby. Or no, sorry, Ash. Your thing always like it. I read it as Abby the first time. Always, it's the double B's. But I know it's like Ash Baby, right? Is the idea? But yeah, I agree. Like the opening scene of it is actually super dark when the kid gets kidnapped and stuff. And Rattigan, even though he's fun to watch and he's kind of likable in that sort of jokery kind of way in the beginning, he turns pretty scary at the end. When he kind of just goes nuts. I remember him having it, but I don't remember what comes of it. That's like in Basil's first scene, isn't it? That you see that happen. Yeah. And his eyes are all just insane too. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I think that's what it was, and they probably didn't put a ton of money behind the marketing of it at the time. But like this could have been like a franchise, really. Like it's any kind of detective character has kind of a built-in story engine, right? You can just like send them on a new mission every time. Or it could have been a weekly cartoon or something too. Yeah, they didn't really come out of their funk until Little Mermaid, which, as we mentioned earlier, same directors. Yeah, totally. I mean, maybe we'll see more of them on Disney Plus or something. Now that it's readily available, people might rediscover it. New generation of kids might discover it for the first time. That's true. And it revitalized. I think it got new interest in animation as well. Black Cauldron is based on it's one of a book series, and yeah, it was like really dark by Disney standards, and flopped. When Jeffrey Katzenberg came in, one of the first things he did was order a bunch of cuts to the movie because they were like too dark. They actually released a director's cut of it a few years back. I've never seen the director's cut. Apparently they even cut a nude scene, but I'm guessing the nude scene didn't actually show anything, or if it did, it was just like a butt or something. I can't imagine it was anything too sexual. Apparently someone said that like that book has a lot of potential to actually be a series, like a successful series, especially in the wake of like Harry Potter and stuff. But don't know if it'll ever happen. I don't know if Disney still owns the rights to it or what. I would say Black Cauldron is not a great movie, but I would also say it's not as horrible as you might assume from the reception that it got. Um, well, definitely not everybody. I mean, it was a whole creative team. I mean, I know Tim Burton is one of the concept artists on it. I know he got fired, but I don't think he got fired for because of Black Cauldron. It was because of Vincent and stuff like. Speaking of Vincent and what's it called? Frankenweenie, the original Frankenweenie. Ironically, since they ended up making a movie of it, feature of it. But yeah, I don't know. I think it, because the thing is it was like it was them trying to go in a new direction that maybe they weren't prepared for, and then I think out of concerns for it, there was a lot of interference and stuff. So I don't know that the creators themselves were squarely to blame anyway. There might have been indirect layoffs as well, just based on the fact that the studio was struggling a bit. So it might not have been you're fired because of this terrible movie you made, but it might be you're fired because we need to cut some slack. Yeah, was he? But he left before Black Cauldron, I think, didn't he? You might be onto something there, Mars. Something that we've ranted about before on the stream, though, too, is like, okay, we all know that animation can be for any age group, but a lot of people don't seem to get that, and so animation for adults in North America can be kind of a hard sell. So that might have made it difficult as well, even if they did try to spin it that way. Oh, believe me, Mars, we all could. It's come up several times. Don Bluth Ash, he did his first one was Secret of Nim, but he also did Land Before Time, An American Tale. He usually only did the originals, by the way, not the sequels. All Dogs Go to Heaven, Troll in Central Park, Thumbelina, Pebble and the Penguin, Anastasia, and the Anastasia sequel. That's the only sequel he ever did. And Titan AE. I'm definitely Rockadoodle. I'm definitely forgetting some. They're not all amazing. Some of them are really good. Some of them suck. It's kind of a mixed bag. No animated movie is a kids movie. Movies can be kids movies, but animation's got nothing to do with it. Chantel, you made it. Oh, right, I meant to mention that, yeah. Dragon's Lair, the famously impossible game with awesome 1980s graphics, which still hold up today because it's traditional animation. Blues Black Cauldron, I guess, would be Titan AE. Titan AE is a much better movie than Black Cauldron. I like Titan AE quite a bit, actually, but it also nearly bankrupted Fox Animation. And I think partly for similar reasons, because it can be a hard sell, because of this weird misconception about animation and being for kids. Because I think most kids would like Titan AE, but it's definitely not targeted towards them, so parents would maybe take issues with it. Yeah. And then even something like, I brought this up before, but like I know Sausage Party wasn't a great movie, but it was a really successful movie, and it was an R-rated movie. So I kind of thought that would have led to a lot more adult-oriented animation. What's weird to me, though, has always been like the same person that will insist that cartoons are for kids if you mention like a Disney movie coming out or something. We'll watch like fucking Family Guy every night and not get that that's a fucking cartoon, man. But yeah, those are all just nostalgia fuel for sure. Well, they are doing a sequel to Spider-Verse. If we're being honest, they've always been about money. I mean, that is the movie making business, is about making money. Trying to make art at the same time, but like, don't fool yourself into thinking that that's not the main goal behind every studio that makes anything. Yeah, it does. I think it's 2D animation, I think, too, right, for this show? Raya's premise would have. I enjoyed Raya for what it was. I thought it was fun. I don't think it holds up to a lot of scrutiny with plot and stuff like that, but I enjoyed it. But the show or the plot is very series friendly. They could have very easily been stretched out. I haven't watched the Tangled series, but I have heard good things about it. distracted there. Let's start inking Rattigan. In my opinion, the main attraction here. Okay, here's a question, guys. If they, and let's forget about the fact that Vincent Price has died. Let's assume he's still alive. If they made a another Green Mouse Detective, either now or back then, would you bring Rattigan back, or would you go new villain? I'll throw this at you, Parker. Aquafina, pretty likable in Shang-Chi. I don't think she'll bother you in that. I don't know if they would redo it for a series. They might spin it off into one, though. I really want to watch Bad Batch. Yeah, but the series, I agree, very good. I still haven't watched Rebels yet, either. Yeah. That's the thing. I don't like when they resurrect characters, but it's also, I feel like, and this is maybe being biased because, like I said, he's my favorite Disney villain, but I do feel like Rattigan is a major part of the success of that movie, even though I do like Basil as well. But also, like, he's his Moriarty, right? And Moriarty does ultimately die as well, but, like, kind of want to have that arch villain. I don't know. Although, if you do a series, maybe you do bring him back, but you give him a couple movies, so it's a shock when he does come back. You know, Ash, I think I forgot, or maybe didn't know, but I'm assuming I knew, that you're as big of a Star Wars fan as you clearly are, because you came up a few times when you were showing your portfolio today. Yeah, I don't think they're planning on a sequel, but yeah, if they continued, it would have been a shame to get rid of. But yeah, you're right. Palpatine returning sucked, so especially the way they did it. Well, that's the thing. He's not. Yeah, he's not really Moriarty in much real respects, but it's still. He still works that way. I haven't watched any of the Lego Star Wars. Oh, actually, I watched the holiday special, but that's it. I hadn't really thought about that, Mars, but I would have been down for it. Although I really had no problem with Rey as a character. I only didn't like that they didn't know what the hell to do with her because they kept changing their minds and everything. The idea, that's the other thing though, whether he was the lead or not, they definitely should have done more with him than they did, because Finn is the concept behind Finn is really interesting, and they did virtually nothing with him. It often does, Parker. I agree. But yeah, you're never worried what's going to trigger somebody, and you shouldn't have to worry about that when you're talking about a movie. So I can't figure out what the hell I did different with the. Oh, maybe is that it? Is that what? No. I should have taken a picture of this thing before I moved it the other day. Yeah. One thing is too is like the all of Rise of Skywalker is basically like an example of Deus Ex Machina. Like they just invent so many new things in there. And some of that I know has been in the video games and stuff like the force healing and whatever, but it's like it hasn't been established in any of the movies. Most of your audience has no idea this is a thing. And it's just like, oh yeah, this is a thing by the way, deal with it. Yeah. And then there's some stuff too. I thought that the blade thing, it has got this almost like Indiana Jones-ish quality to it. They're using that weird blade and all that stuff, and like kind of archaeology and artifacts and shit. Like, and that's cool. I like that, but it also makes no sense because they're talking about things that are 30 years old, not 300 years old, and yet they have this thing that like resembles this thing that's still dilapidating and falling apart. It hasn't so far away from its final form. Like, ugh. Honestly, though, I blame Disney and Kathleen Kennedy and stuff more than the actual creative teams because I think it was they should have been enforcing some solidity from the beginning. It was kind of every director was told do what you want, and then So you got this very disjointed thing without planning anything. Although even the do what you want might have worked if they had let. I think it would have worked better to have a plan no matter what. But like Colin Trevorrow was ready to take the ball and run with it, but then they tried to like undo Last Jedi. No matter what you think of Last Jedi, it happened. So they should have just. People might have liked the movie more if the payoff was worthwhile at the end. But once you kind of just deliberately are like, no, let's pretend like it didn't happen. Let's like undo it. Let's retcon the entire movie. It kind of just undermines your whole thing. No, they didn't. They had no plan at all. They've even admitted it. Well, I think JJ had an idea in mind when he was setting up the characters in Force Awakens, but they never like adhered to any of that moving forward with Rian Johnson. And then Johnson probably had an idea of where things would go when he did it, but then they didn't go that direction either. So none of the setups actually had proper payoffs. According to Daisy Ridley, the original plan, as she was told, was that she was going to be Obi-Wan's granddaughter. And they very clearly set it up in Force Awakens. But then when Johnson did his thing, they kind of had to go in a whole direction. I don't know if that was ever stated. Kennedy actually had nothing to do with the prequels. She was with. She did a lot of stuff with Spielberg, and she worked with Lucas for the Indiana Jones movies with Spielberg, and maybe she's worked with some of the more recent Lucas produced things before the buyout, but she didn't actually. She had nothing to do with Star Wars until the buyout. Presumably that would have been explained, Mars. But we never got there. Well, and you'll actually hear Obi-Wan's voice say, "These are your first steps." Like they actually got Ewan to do that as a setup, and then they never paid it off. Well, in the case of I don't know that I would put that on a because like that was them trying to replicate the Luke I am your father kind of thing, I think, more than any kind of specific kind of Disney mandate, I think. And that Obi-Wan series that they're working on was originally going to be a movie that was in development around the same time. So it actually could, and who knows how much has changed, but that might have been where that would have been explained. Yep. Unfortunately, I agree, Mars. It might have been Satine. I agree, Chantel. And I like to think that if Carrie hadn't died, that we definitely would have gotten that. What I always kind of wanted to see that way, this is, and all fans have their theory. They're not wrong for not having done this. They're wrong for several other reasons. But uh, what I wanted to see was a big reveal. I guess okay, they gave you kind of a reveal of Leia's abilities in Last Jedi. I wasn't. I don't think I hated that moment as much as a lot of people did, but I also didn't love the moment. Mostly just the way it's shot, more so than the idea. But what I wanted to see, and this could have been the way she goes out. This could have been her going out fighting, but maybe we don't actually know if she's force sensitive or not. And or well, we would assume as much, but we haven't seen proof of it, right? And then in a fight scene, shit's going down, rubble's falling around her, and then all of a sudden, hands up, like explosion or something, hands up, stop shit, dead in its tracks. Or maybe stops a laser blast, kind of like Kylo did in the first one of that trilogy, or something like that. And that's like your big reveal moment. And music swells, freaks out. I would have loved that. Yeah. You mean the music, or? But also, it's like even still though, because I have a lot of movie podcasts on in the background and stuff all the time, and like they comment like anytime somebody brings up Last Jedi, they're running the risk of a fight breaking out in the live chat during the show because people can't calm their shit about their opinions on it. They have to be like I don't care if you hated the movie. You can hate the movie. I'm not the hugest fan either. Um, but you're allowed to not like it. but you also don't need to, every time the movie is mentioned, you don't need to be like, okay, now let me tell you why I hate this movie so much. Like, you don't need to do that. And then everybody else will start people that like it will start defending it, and then, but you're not allowed to have a different opinion, apparently, so it turns into a whole thing. Yeah, that was the other don't. Yeah, like what's her face? Oh, what is her name again? Someone that played Rose. She got harassed for the decisions that her character makes as if she's a real person. That also happened to Chris Pratt, by the way. When Endgame came out, he started getting harassed online for ruining their plan and letting Thanos get the gauntlet. And it's like, dude, it's a fucking movie. He's playing a fictional character. And also, are you not happy that you got another Avengers movie after that? Because if he hadn't fucked up the plan, there would not have been another Avengers movie after that. Very much. Right, Kelly Marie Tran, yeah. And also, like, okay, never makes sense to harass the actor for it. But I don't even understand all the hate that Rose got. Like, there were issues with that movie, no question. Rose wasn't really her whole subplot, I thought, was the clunkiest and most useless subplot. But it wasn't her as a character that was the problem. It was just they didn't really know what to do with her. Like, her existence was fine. It was the action that happened around her. Yeah. Yeah. Which also was so ridiculous on a whole other level as well, because, like, the whole point is that he's not a good Captain America. Like, that's literally the point of the plot. And even before we get to know him, it should be obvious just by the way Sam's looking at him. But they were like, no, like, if people never watched a TV show before, do you not want any drama at all? Also, by the way, apparently Wyatt Russell, super nice guy. Here's a fun fact about Wyatt Russell, actually. He is a hockey player, not professionally, but always liked playing hockey, and wanted to pursue it professionally at one point. And so his parents, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, actually moved to Vancouver for a while so we could play Vancouver here. I'm not sure exactly how long they lived here, but they lived here for a while. My dad actually met them in a restaurant one time, got their autographs. Kurt Russell's his dad, yeah. That's the other thing, too, right? Okay, you shouldn't harass anybody, but if you're going to harass somebody, the writer that chose to make that character decision makes more sense than the actor. I think he was asked if he would ever play Snake Plissken in a Escape from New York remake, and he was like, "Fuck no." Which I kind of liked. I don't think they should do a remake of Escape from New York, but I also think he's smart not to do it, because even if they did a good job with the movie, it's going to be compared to the original a lot, and whatever actor plays Snake is going to be compared to Kurt a lot, probably not favorably, no matter what kind of job they do. And if it's Kurt's son, he's probably going to be, people will be even more critical about it. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, totally. And then there's even like incidental, even when somebody's not going out of their way to hurt somebody, you constantly see what everybody else is up to, and it makes you question your own social life and stuff like that. Even though stuff that people post isn't necessarily even an accurate representation of their social life, because they're posting the good stuff, not the bad stuff, or the boring stuff. Also, I don't think there's anything wrong with staying in and doing your own thing if that's what you enjoy. But you see other people online always posting all their party pictures or whatever, like, oh god, should I be doing that? Am I, there's something wrong with me for not doing that? And it makes you question yourself and stuff a lot. But then you get actual bullies on top of it that actually do want to fuck with people. There's a lot of good that comes from social media. I think there are people with actual valuable opinions worth sharing, and it's great for people like me to be able to share art and kind of get my name out there a lot easier than it maybe would have been 10, 20 years ago or whatever, but there's a lot of shit that comes with it as well. I think people are definitely more aware of it now, but I think it probably has risen a little bit as well. The Fermi paradox? I'm not sure if I know what that is, Ash. Fermi paradox is unintended mixed messaging, or are we talking about two different points? Good night, Ash. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, that's the other thing. When people post negative things or like a family member's death or something like that, I think it often feels very insincere to me too. They're doing it specifically for the likes and the comments of support, and not, and that just sort of, they might genuinely need some. They might genuinely be grieving. It's not like they're completely full of shit, but I feel like the posting of it often feels very artificial to me. And if that's genuine, then that's an upside of social media if it's going to get people to speak up and help out. But yeah, if they're disingenuous posts just to get sympathy likes, then that's pretty bad. I'm gonna jump in there, Parker, to make sure that your intent is clear, because I'm pretty sure I know what you mean. You're not saying that they should be following through and doing self-harm, but it might be that they have no intention or are in any danger of doing self-harm. I think is where you're headed with that. I am assuming you're not disappointed that people aren't hurting themselves. You just don't want people making those claims for the wrong reasons. Claims is even the wrong word. You know what I mean? Yeah, if those cries for help are genuine and making those cries is going to get them the help and support they need, then it's 100% worth it. I just worry about the people that don't do it for the genuine reasons. Exactly. Also, too, yeah, the support that comes back to them might not be even also a problem. Because people respond for disingenuous reasons sometimes as well. Wow, this is like a super heavy topic we've gotten onto, by the way. This has evolved to dangerous levels. As I'm drawing characters from a Disney movie, no less. Yes, exactly. And if they're doing it because they need help, then good. If they're doing it just because they want attention, then bad. I know what you're saying. I just don't want anybody to jump to the wrong conclusion and give you shit for it, is the only reason I spoke that up. No, that's okay, Parker. What are you rendering from, by the way? It's an After Effects render? Sorry about that, Chantal. Hopefully this cough clears up fairly soon. I have an inhaler for it. Okay, on a lighter note, you want to hear an annoying story as a movie buff / movie collector? Saying that's where I got the cough from, Chantal? I went to my parents last weekend, and my last day there, we sat on the patio of a restaurant, and a big, like, bunch of cottonwood was floating by, and I think that's what did it. Not uncommon for me this time of year. Adobe Dimension. I actually don't think I know that one, Parker. I don't think I've ever played with that one, or even heard about that one, to be honest. Okay, I'll tell you my annoying movie fan collector story. So obviously I'm a horror fan, but I've been on a special horror kick lately because I've been writing a horror movie. And Night of the Living Dead has always been one of my favorite horror movies and my favorite zombie movie of all time. But I've never owned it. And I've still never seen the original Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Dead by George A. Romero. So the original complete Dead trilogy. So I was like, you know what? Let's do this. Finally, let's do this. Let's see these. So and Adam's collection. So I ordered them. They're all independently produced, so you can't get a set. You have to buy them separately. Night of the Living Dead and Day of the Dead came on Friday. Dawn of the Dead arrived today. And it turns out I accidentally bought the wrong one. I got the Zack Snyder remake. And I don't know how I made that mistake, because I remember checking for it. So I saw something in the write-up that made me think it was the 1978 one. But anyway, and I actually like Snyder's remake of it quite a bit. I think there's a good argument to be made that it's actually Snyder's best movie. So I don't actually mind owning it. It's just not what I was trying to get. And then so I was like, okay, well, let's look into buying the proper one. And it turns out the actual original 1978 Dawn of the Dead not currently available on DVD or Blu-ray. So the only way you can buy it is if you buy like from like a separate vendor on Amazon that's got like copies of it from whenever it was like in print, or whatever the movie version of that term would be, and they're selling it for like 150 bucks, which I'm not going to spend on that. But the weird thing is Dawn of the Dead is a really well-respected movie that some say is better than Night of the Living Dead, and I think Day of the Dead has a decent reputation, but Dawn has a way better reputation. So the fact that you can get a collector's edition Blu-ray of Day of the Dead, but you can't even get a bare bones Blu-ray or even DVD of Dawn of the Dead kind of boggles my mind. Yeah, I like it a lot. That's also possible too, for sure, Chantal. So Adobe Dimension does 3D stuff then, Parker? Well, yeah, but I want to actually like own it. That's the point. Like I like collecting these things. Because otherwise, if I just wanted to watch it, I'd just find it on a streaming service or something. Like I want to watch it, but I wanted to own it, add to the collection. Plus, add the bonus features. The Night of the Living Dead actually marks my first ever Criterion Collection movie, which I don't usually buy too often, as tempted as I am, because they're kind of expensive. But I thought, you know what? One of my favorite movies. It's classic. Fuck it. Let's get the Criterion. And as Criterions go, it was actually one of the cheaper ones I've seen, to be honest. There was also that. Also. Okay. How's work treating you, by the way, Chantal, now that you're back? I know you're saying you're full-time and everything. I don't know if... Actually, I don't think you'd started yet when we had that conversation. figure out what the hell I did different with the camera before. Let me know, guys, if I'm working and half the drawing is not even on screen. Oh, today was the first day back. Okay. Oh, and tapped it early. That's why. Was that because it wasn't going great? Is that because it wasn't super busy, or just because it was the first day back and it's a bit overwhelming to be back? Could be very valid, in my opinion. Gotcha. Thanks, Parker. Thanks, Mars. See ya on Friday, or maybe I'll see you on the Thursday stream. Okay, JC. Gotcha. Gotcha. Alright, let's do the spot blacks on these guys. We are almost done. Gotcha, gotcha. Roger, roger. Back cracked? Like a chiropractor, you mean? A very 1960s spy movie vibe in this music. Which honestly is the closest thing to mystery you've actually gotten on this mystery playlist. Welcome back, JC. We missed you. That sounds satisfying, Chantal. How are you, JC? Didn't get to ask earlier. I'm gonna leave you with that to ponder, JC. What are we referring to, Parker? We're talking about Dixon, the writing program? There's dicks in every program. There's dicks in every walk of life. Both literally and figuratively. You're stopping therapy? I didn't know you were in therapy before, JC. I assume this is a good thing you're stopping, though, if that means you feel like you don't need it at the moment. Ah, gotcha, gotcha. Well, I'm not entirely sure I understand that logic, then, JC. I prefer you not to be sad, JC. Not chronically, anyway. I prefer that for everybody. Not that there's anything wrong with feeling sad. You shouldn't feel ashamed to be sad. Don't mean it like that, guys. It's important to feel feelings, just in general. Both the good and the bad. Okay. So it's a trick to get into shape. I think it is about finding that balance, though. I mean, I don't think... Well, actually, when you go to the gym, though, does that help with the depression? Because if it's sort of just an alternative to therapy that also has the bonus of getting healthier, then that's not a bad thing. But just like stopping eating isn't the ideal way to lose weight, you know? And, you know, doing heroin isn't the best way to lose weight either. So you do want to think about the healthy ways to get into shape. I agree, Parker. Ah, it took me a minute there, JC. I gotcha. Somebody in class earlier today was eating Cheetos, but I just saw the corner of the bag from a distance and I thought she was eating McDonald's fries, and that made me want McDonald's fries so bad. Ta. Donut puns. I don't know if you can, if you're already gone, Parker, but I don't know if I'll still be here when you get back from the shower. We're almost done here. I am going to touch up some hatching that I notice could be tighter in a couple spots, but nothing that's going to take too long. All right, I think we're done, guys. I think I'm calling it. There we go. Basil of Baker Street and the one and only Rattigan. Thanks, Chantel. I'm doing another one off of the request list next Tuesday. It's going to be it's from a video game. And I'll be back on Thursday for another original one. Probably do the character design challenge next week, but I got a different one in mind. I got inspired while watching something a week or so ago. So I'm going to draw that on Thursday. So maybe I'll see you guys then. But have a good night. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.